Arsenal 3-0 neo Sunderland. Why this victory shows things may be dropping into place for Mikel Arteta to secure the Gunners a Premier League title, writes Matt Barlow. Martin Zubimendi was never signed for his goals, yet the strike he drilled low across the turf and in off the post against Sunderland could still earn a place in Arsenal folklore. The connection was exquisite, shaped delicately with the outside of his right boot, but its true value lay in the timing. It arrived at the end of a scrappy first half against stubborn opposition, lifting the tension that had begun to hang in the air. Victor Gyökeres, on the other hand, was recruited to score goals. He has faced criticism for not finding the net often enough, but 2 goals off the bench ended that debate on the day. His brace put the contest beyond Sunderland and added shine to a result that sent the Premier League leaders 9 points clear at the summit. Gyökeres struck his first from close range within 6 minutes of coming on, and his second, a simple finish after a sweeping counter led by Gabriel Martinelli, brought his tally to 6 goals in his last 8 appearances. It increasingly feels as though the pieces are falling into place for Mikel Arteta as Arsenal chase their first league title in 22 years. Another awkward fixture was negotiated successfully, helped by drop points elsewhere as Aston Villa were held by Bournemouth. Attention now shifts to Manchester City, who face Liverpool at Anfield on Sunday. The match itself began in disjointed fashion. Kaihavertz headed a free chance wide inside the opening minute, and rhythm was hard to find. Sunderland sat deep, compact and hard-working. Brian Brobby and Habib Diarra posed problems on the break, unsettling Williamsaliba and Gabriel, while set pieces offered the visitors their most credible threat. Arsenal controlled possession but struggled to penetrate. Declanrice fired narrowly wide from distance before Zubimendi broke the deadlock, guiding Leandro Trossard's pass in off the near post just before the interval. The sense of relief inside the stadium was unmistakable. Moments later, gabrieljesus burst through and appeared to win a penalty after being clipped by Dan Ballard, but a late offside flag intervened. Replay suggested Jesus had started in his own half, yet VAR judged his upper body to be leaning marginally offside, a decision that drew confusion and frustration. Havertz soon threatened again, surging forward and curling a left-footed effort just wide of the far post. More VAR drama followed at a Sunderland corner when a foul was claimed on Ballard, but after review no decision was given, fortunately, as most of the Arsenal players had already disappeared down the tunnel. Once ahead, Arsenal managed proceedings with maturity. David Raya was forced into an early second-half save from Enzo Lefebvre, but the hosts remained composed. The introduction of Gyökeres and Martinelli on the hour proved decisive almost immediately. Gyökeres made his impact count, powering home Arsenal's second after Trossard split the defense and Havertz squared the ball into his path. The Sunderland goalkeeper had no answer to the force of the finish. Deep into stoppage time, Arsenal struck again, Martinelli racing from inside his own half before drawing the keeper and laying the ball across for Gyökeres to tap into an empty net and seal the victory. Sunderland had arrived buoyed by memories of their earlier 2-2 draw between the sides, but they were largely subdued. Arsenal controlled the contest throughout, limiting the visitors to an expected goals figure of just 0.117. Any moments of danger stemmed more from Arsenal's own sloppiness than sustained pressure. Zubimendi's opener, his 6th goal of the season, already more than he had ever scored in a single campaign before, set the platform. Gyökeres' second-half cameo ensured the outcome, taking him to 8 Premier League goals and 13 across all competitions. The win lifts Arsenal to 56 points from 25 matches, built on 17 victories and 5 draws, with a goal difference of +132. It was a calm, authoritative home performance, exactly the kind expected of genuine title contenders, achieved without bukayosaka and captain Martinodegaard. Elsewhere, results again fell Arsenal's way. Aston Villa were held to a 1-1 draw by Bournemouth, with Morgan Rogers scoring before Rayan equalised after the break. The drop points leave Unai Emery's side 9 adrift, underlining the gap between Arsenal and the chasing pack. Now the focus turns firmly to Manchester City, also 9 points behind, but with a game in hand at Anfield for Arsenal. This was another box ticked, 3 points secured. The lead extended, and pressure pushed squarely onto their rivals. Should City falter on Merseyside, this win over Sunderland may yet be remembered as another meaningful stride toward the Premier League title returning to North London. The 16-year-old has also agreed a pre-contract that will see him officially sign professional terms in North London when eligible. McCarron has already tasted senior football this season, featuring in the Dungannon Swifts' first-team squad in the NIFL Premiership. A composed and adaptable centre-back, he is comfortable operating on either side of the defence. a youth international for Northern Ireland. McCarron will join the rest of Arsenal's new intake of scholars in July, ahead of the 2026-27 campaign, following a successful trial spell with the club. That period included appearances for Arsenal's under-17 side at the Flamengo Adidas Cup at the end of 2024, when he was still just 15. The tournament proved to be a memorable one for Arsenal, who went on to lift the trophy. They began with a 3-1 victory over Colo-Colo, with Louis Zeshevik-John scoring twice and Brando Bailey-Joseph adding a third. That was followed by a 3-2 win against Del Valle, courtesy of goals from Angelino, Alex Marciniak and Bailey-Joseph. A goalless draw with Midtjylland and a 3-1 defeat to Sao Paulo, with Marley Frohock scoring Arsenal's only goal across those two fixtures, completed the group stage. Despite the setback, 2 wins and a draw were enough to progress. Zeshevik-John then struck his 3rd and 4th goals of the competition in a semi-final win over GNK Dinamo, setting up a final against hosts Flamengo. Arsenal secured the trophy with a 3-1 victory in the final, as Frohock, Bailey-Joseph and Malik Hashi all found the net. Bailey-Joseph was named man of the match, and his 3 goals across the tournament earned him a place in the team of the tournament alongside Tashawn Mursa. McCarron's signing underlines Arsenal's continued emphasis on recruiting young players with senior experience. Dungannon Swifts, a semi-professional side based in County Tyrone, compete in the top tier of Northern Irish football, the NIFL Premiership, giving the teenager early exposure to a competitive environment. Speaking in his pre-match press conference, Mikel Arteta provided updates on several players who had missed training earlier in the week. Bukayosaka, Martinodegaard and Jurrien Timber were absent from Thursday's session, while Max Daumann and Mikel Merino remain long-term absentees. On Saka, Arteta delivered encouraging news, confirming the winger is making strong progress. His hip is getting much better, he said. Hopefully, very soon he will be back with us. There had been some early optimism that Odegaard could return in time to face Sunderland on Saturday, while Arteta stopped short of confirming that. He suggested the Arsenal captain is only days away from returning. Martin is improving, and we believe it will be a matter of days, he added. As for Timber, Arteta reassured supporters that there is no issue. He's fine, the manager confirmed, noting that occasional absences from training are part of careful workload management. With no fresh injury concerns beyond those already known, Arsenal appear to be in a healthy position heading into the weekend. Daumann, Merino, Saka and Odegaard are currently expected to miss the game, but the remainder of the squad should be available for selection. Real Madrid urged to repeat Raphael Varane blueprint with Arsenal standout. Few defenders in Real Madrid's modern history have combined elegance and authority quite like Raphael Varane. The French centre-back was not only commanding defensively but also exceptional in possession, earning a reputation as a true Rolls-Royce defender. Varane enjoyed a glittering decade at the Santiago Bernabeu, racking up 360 appearances and lifting 4 Champions League trophies. He also claimed 3 La Liga titles before moving to Manchester United in 2021. The World Cup winner retired last year, and France and Madrid admirers have since looked for a successor with similar qualities. One name that continues to surface is Williamsaliba of Arsenal. Saliba reflects on Varane comparison. Saliba joined Arsenal from Saint-Etienne in 2019 and was widely viewed as one of Europe's brightest young defensive prospects, a label once attached to Varane when he arrived in Madrid from Lens. Recently, Saliba was asked which former player he compares himself to, and he did not shy away from the Varane link. A former player I would compare myself to? That's a good question, Saliba said, via Madrid Extra. When I was younger, some people compared me to Raphael Varane. If I had to choose one former player, I would say Varane. Now a cornerstone of Mikel Arteta's side, Saliba has become one of the most reliable centre-backs in the Premier League. Many regard him as the division's standout defender, with his consistency alongside Gabrielmagalhaes forming the backbone of Arsenal's title push this season. Saliba has made 29 appearances across all competitions, delivering composed performances week after week. Why Real Madrid may revisit Saliba in the future. Although the Frenchman has been monitored by Madrid over the past year, the Spanish giants chose not to pursue a move, a decision that came shortly before Saliba signed a contract extension running until 2030. As things stand, a transfer appears unlikely in the short term. Still, at just 24, Saliba remains a long-term option worth tracking for club president Florentino Perez. Should Arsenal achieve major success, such as winning the Premier League or Champions League, the defender may one day consider a fresh challenge at the very highest level. Before Saliba renewed his contract, Fabrizio Romano revealed Madrid's admiration for the defender. Real Madrid for sure have William Saliba on their list. They consider him something special, the Jude Bellingham of defenders for both the present and the future. Those comments suggest that while Madrid may look elsewhere for defensive reinforcements this summer, Saliba remains firmly on their radar. If the club are serious about replicating the Varane success story, the Arsenal centre-back could yet emerge as a future priority. Sandro Tonali has been strongly linked with a potential exit from Newcastle United in recent weeks. With Arsenal emerging as a possible destination, Arsenal were reportedly keen on bringing Tonali to North London during the January transfer window after Newcastle paid $55 million for his signature, but a deal failed to materialise. Whether the Gunners decide to revive their interest at the end of the season remains to be seen. The midfielder's agent has suggested that a summer move cannot be ruled out, explaining that Tonali's situation will be assessed once the campaign concludes. The Italian international has impressed since arriving in England and is eager to be competing in the UEFA Champions League next season. That ambition could place pressure on Newcastle to finish the season strongly, as consistently competing at the top level is key to retaining elite talents like Tonali. That said, recent reports indicate that the 25-year-old and his family are currently settled and happy on Tyneside. Encouragement for Arsenal in the transfer battle. Comments from Tonali's representatives are likely to provide Arsenal with renewed optimism. The club are expected to revisit the possibility of a move in the summer, particularly as they look to add strength, physical presence, and defensive solidity to their midfield. Tonali's profile suggests he could make an immediate impact and would represent an upgrade on options such as Christian Nørgaard. The Italian has repeatedly demonstrated his quality in the Premier League, underlining his ability to perform at the highest level. A switch to Arsenal could mark the perfect next step in his career, offering the chance to compete for major honours. Should the move materialise, Tonali would be aiming to establish himself among Europe's elite while chasing Premier League titles and Champions League success with the Gunners.